Dreams are a series of mental events that occur during sleep. They involve perception, emotion, memory, and imagination interacting in unusual ways. Science divides dreams into progressive levels based on depth, awareness, and control. Each level represents a gradual shift in how the brain models reality when external input stops. Level 0. The boundary between wake and sleep. Dreaming begins before sleep is complete. As consciousness fades, sensory input weakens, but thought activity continues. This short transition is the threshold where waking logic dissolves and imagery begins to form. It is the brief overlap where reality and imagination blend for a few seconds each night. Hypnagogic state. It happens when neural activity shifts from the prefrontal cortex to the visual cortex. Patterns of light, sound, or movement appear behind closed eyes. They are not full dreams, but fragments of spontaneous visual noise. In this state, time perception loosens, and single ideas can expand into vivid flashes of experience. Level 1. Fragment dreaming. This is the first true level of dreaming. The mind produces abstract geometric forms and flashes of color. There is no storyline, no characters, and no stable perspective. Researchers describe it as raw cortical activity without integration. Visual origin. This level originates from the visual cortex maintaining stimulation during rest. It prevents neural takeover by other brain regions. The mind interprets continuous light activity as shapes, the building blocks for later dream imagery. They prove that even during sleep, the brain prioritizes the protection of sensory architecture. Level 2. Emergent dreamscapes. At this stage, fragments merge into settings. Space, color, and scale appear, but the world remains empty. It's the tendency of the brain to construct a coherent environment from memory traces. What begins as chaos gradually arranges into a recognizable scene held together by emotion. Emotional projection. The emptiness allows emotional content to project outward. The brain uses unprocessed feelings to fill blank spaces. Fear, calm, or curiosity shape the atmosphere of the scene. Each surface and shadow corresponds to a mood, not to physical reality. Level 3. Thematic formation. Dreams gain structure and recurring events. Narratives form around central emotional themes. Common themes include identity, desire, fear, loss, and conflict. Scenes shift rapidly, following emotional rather than logical order. The story bends around what the brain needs to feel, not what it needs to tell. Symbolic translation. The brain converts emotion into metaphor. It uses memories, symbols, and familiar faces to represent internal states. For example, being lost may represent confusion or stress. Each metaphor is the mind's attempt to communicate with itself in a nonverbal code. Level 4. Autonomous dream reality. Here, the dream feels generated for you, not by you. Characters act independently. Settings recur across nights with consistent details. The dream environment gains internal logic and persistence. Dreams at this level can feel like entire worlds with their own continuity. Agency illusion. This occurs when neural networks simulate social interactions. The brain creates agents that respond as if they possess separate consciousness. These agents, shaped by memory and archetype, create the illusion of external intelligence inside the dream. Recurring motifs. Certain figures, locations, or events reappear over months or years. They act as emotional anchors connecting separate dream episodes. Psychology links them to stable attractor networks, patterns of memory that repeat due to neural structure. Through repetition, they turn the unstable logic of dreams into an evolving internal narrative. Level 5. Lucid dreaming. Awareness of dreaming emerges while the dream continues. The prefrontal cortex partially reactivates, restoring reflection and choice. The dreamer recognizes unreality but remains inside the scenario. This awareness allows limited control over perception and outcome. It is the highest known level where consciousness and simulation coexist. Conscious control. Lucid dreams allow the manipulation of movement, space, and narrative. Some people fly, shift settings, or alter characters deliberately. It occurs when self-monitoring circuits engage without full awakening. However, awareness does not guarantee mastery. Control can fluctuate rapidly. The balance between freedom and stability defines how long lucidity lasts. Instability and hostile agents. When awareness conflicts with the unconscious process, tension arises. Some lucid dreamers report hostile reactions from dream figures. These reactions may represent the system defending its consistency. It reveals that even inside self-awareness, the unconscious protects its autonomy. Nested dreams. In rare cases, lucidity triggers false awakenings. The dreamer believes they have woken up but remain inside another layer. Each awakening feels more real than the last. It continues until sensory and cognitive feedback align, ending the loop. Such sequences demonstrate how perception alone defines what feels real. Physiological mechanism. During REM sleep, muscle paralysis isolates the body. Brain activity resembles wakefulness, but sensory input is blocked. Lucid awareness occurs when part of this predictive system references itself. The oscillation between awareness and paralysis makes dreaming a unique hybrid of consciousness. Cognitive purpose. Dream levels serve adaptive functions. Shallow levels preserve sensory mapping. Middle levels process emotion through symbolic rehearsal. Deep levels integrate awareness and test cognitive boundaries. Memory and integration. After waking, only fragments remain. Memory fades because the hippocampus is less active during REM. However, emotional traces persist, influencing mood and creativity. The hierarchy of dream levels mirrors the hierarchy of neural integration. Dreams are forgotten quickly, yet they quietly adjust the architecture of thought. Cultural interpretations. Ancient societies viewed dream levels as spiritual journeys. Modern science interprets them as self-organizing brain states. Both describe movement through inner space with increasing depth and meaning. Each level reveals a different interaction between consciousness and simulation. Across history, this layering of perception defined myths about souls, visions, and awakening. Experimental evidence. EEG and fMRI studies show progressive activation patterns. Lower levels involve visual and limbic regions. Higher levels engage prefrontal areas linked to awareness. This gradient supports the model of ascending cognitive complexity. Functional summary. Dreaming maintains plasticity, regulates emotion, and consolidates memory. The level sequence, from fragments to awareness, illustrates the evolution of cognition. It demonstrates how the brain creates, interprets, and finally questions its own reality. Dreams are the rehearsal of existence, an endless feedback loop where the mind explores itself. If you like this video, subscribe for more like this.